just a lonely child who wants someone to help him out. I take this pain away because my head been running wild. I'm just a lonely child who needs someone to help.
www love the number 2 jamradio.com. This is segment 2 of Rillos. This Friday. It's going down. It's the weekend before my birthday.
Oh.
I kind of decided I think I'm gonna really I'm gonna turn up today. I'm gonna cut up today if I really just need to. But next weekend I'm really gonna take it all the way. Like I'm gonna need a ride home next week. I'm saying that I'm saying that while my ride was here.
Right.
It is here right now, and I have 2 witnesses.
I got you, baby.
There we go. So I got a ride next week. We're gonna cut up. Maybe we'll get some tacos in here or something from the little. Oh, y'all woke up for the tacos, huh?
Bitches love tacos.
That's Miss Lovey, KK in the building, holding down. She got my back quad polo in the building.
Yeah.
It's going down. Hey, so today's news in Houston. Did y'all notice anything that happened today in Houston?
That club burnt down.
Oh, 50-15.
There we go.
5.
So somebody apparently blew up bar 5015.
That's not what happened at all. It was a gas leak.
No. They're saying they found multiple gas containers around now, as if somebody staged it and somebody's gonna get charged with arson.
I think that in order for the insurance possibly to cover it, it probably had to be arson. And if it was a gas leak, it probably wouldn't have been the fault, and they probably wouldn't have paid out.
So somebody got to take the blame?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, who would do that?
I don't know. Maybe people didn't like their new dress code policy they had. It was all stringent. They said no snapbacks. Niggas got mad and said, oh, for real?
Did they had a new dress code?
Yeah, it was crazy.
With all that's going on, they should be letting anybody in.
No, it was more strict than any dress code you ever saw.
Yeah,
and it was supposedly trying to get an older crowd, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no tennis shoes, no. You wouldn't have been able to make it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to make it.
He wouldn't have been, he couldn't come. No sweatpants, no. Shout out to Nasty Niles. Get in.
Yeah, he ain't been by here in a minute. We'll slip him in here one of these weeks.
So that means I can only bring one of my characters in that club. Not all my characters will be able to go now.
Well, ain't no characters going now. So we, you know what? Let's take the speaker out there and we can do a show.
Yeah.
You know what I want? You know what I want to do?
No words.
I want to just pull up with my speaker and we're gonna start nigga news. And whenever the news truck pull up somewhere, we just pull up beside them and go live, you know, and try to get more viewers than the regular news.
We try to interview the news people.
Now, what you say they said?
Right.
What you said was happening?
Can you please let us know what the last witness said?
I'm a little late, but can you tell me the story before you tell the news the story?
Right.
Fill us
Yeah,
in.
that's what we need to do, because we got to be active. You know, do our social distancing, but still, you know, be active out here in these streets. One thing I can say, like, about this coronavirus is actually it's flipping a lot of stuff around. Like, a lot of people who was broke at times are now making money.
Yeah.
A lot of people who was rich and wasn't really, you know, doing right by their money is now broke. Like, it's flipping a whole bunch of stuff around. You know, it's a lot of people who was just coasting through life, now they a little more on the edge. Like, so a lot of people who really wasn't fooling with, you know, friends and family are now fooling with their friends and family. You know, it's like when life slows you down, you have no choice but to talk to people or figure out what's going on. And a lot of times the news ain't really giving us everything, so you gotta ask somebody, hey, how's your family doing? They not telling you who's sick and what's sick and this and that. So I don't know, I think it has brought a lot of people together. Now a lot of people have lost their lives, and you know, even with the whole George Floyd situation, if we wasn't going through the pandemic, people probably would have brushed right over it and just like, oh, it's happening again, you know? It would have just been another isolated incident that happened in Minneapolis, because it's been multiple states where this has happened and the story pops up and it goes. And it happened just as close as Louisiana. And the city, you know, it was up in arms for a little while, but then after that, it kind of died down quick. Yeah. But this was like, hey, we ain't got no jobs. we getting all the facts straight, because usually when you're working you don't even get all the facts. It's like, well, you get bits and pieces of the story. If somebody at your job is on Facebook, then they might catch it, but some jobs don't even let you get on Facebook.
Right.
They'll fire you for being on Facebook. So a lot of this was just word of mouth, sharing this, sharing that, and like I think I had got the story like immediately, and I was like, dang, you know, that's it. Like, they still doing this. But for it to spread as fast as it did, and a lot of times they might ride in one city, or, you know, protest in one city or a couple cities around, but this like set the nation, you know, on fire. And I was listening earlier. They're actually trying to get I think in Seattle they've taken over the police station or something, and and the protesters have taken it over, and they don't know who's in charge, because they consider it like a hostage situation, but they've taken over the city, and now they're trying to figure out how they're gonna get back in, you know, how they're gonna, you know, retake the city and get back to normal business, because the protesters have taken over. But they can't go in there with just military force, because how that's gonna look, you taking the military in, you know. So I'm curious to see how that situation plays out, because that's definitely something that's different. Like, the guy was from Houston. He knew a lot of Houston people. Like, he had roots here, and they took over their whole city there. And it's like, yeah, we protested, we march, but why are other cities taking it to a whole nother level? Now, I understand Minneapolis, that's what happened. It wasn't about where he was from at that time. It was more about the situation itself. But I was like, man, I know Houston finna turn up with the protest. Now, we did a little more organized protest. I saw a lot of people out there. First off, if you're gonna protest, be out there for the right reason.
Correct.
And the right reason is there's an injustice that's occurring repeatedly across America and in the world, and it needs to stop. It's not right. Don't be out there protesting with just a sign that say niggas on it. I kid you not. It was a tall black guy with a white t-shirt on that just was holding a sign, a cardboard piece, a poster board that just said niggas, Niggas.
Wow.
When people see your sign, what do they think? What would you think, Quad Polo?
Ignorant.
Love it?
I mean,
If you just saw a sign that said niggas at a protest, what is that sign gonna make you do?
I start thinking of like acronyms. I don't look at shit like that.
No.
That's me.
If he would have put N dot I, you know, his sign was clearly like, I want the news to see this word. Like,
that was his way. He might just be like making a statement with just that, like niggas. Niggas is the ones affected.
That's fine. That's understandable. But I feel like the sign, like if you're gonna hold the sign, it should have a message.
Right.
Like
that's his message from the level that he vibrates on. Right. And there's niggas that saw that and was like, that nigga spitting.
Yeah.
That nigga what?
That nigga spitting. That nigga spitting. I'm saying, like, it shows.
Why not just walk around saying niggas?
I'm saying we do.
They can. No, I'm talking about him. Niggas.
You don't know. It's more effective on the sign. He want the deaf niggas to see it. He want everybody to know.
Okay.
He might have been deaf.
Maybe he was there.
You hit a point.
See,
right
that's why I brought it to you. Because I read his lips and he was saying niggas. As a matter of fact, they kept bleeping the news off and on, because you know certain stuff they don't want to show on TV. They was trying to blur his side, but he was like moving around so much, like he knew they was trying to blur his side. So shout out to that nigga for being persistent. But just seeing people come together, period. I don't even give a fuck about signs. I enjoy that, because it's not too many places that actually happens where people come together like that. Now the situation and circumstances is, you know, not ideal, but to get people together like that and to be majority focusing on the same thing, and people actually have time to do it. That like, I feel like that was the best part of the protest. Now I wasn't out there protesting, but I feel like that the best part of the protest this time was that people actually had time to do it, because a lot of times you have.
I don't say had time, but made time.
No, a lot of people had time. A lot of people had a lot of
Had time, I'd say made time, because I don't know.
I'm talking about the people who just sitting at the house chilling.
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying that it's a difference between having time, because when you believe something, you gonna make time for it to come through.
No.
Like they could have had time before, but chose not to prioritize it. But when it's in your face, they don't have a choice.
So let's not say they had time. They ain't have shit else to do.
I guess.
That's basically what it is. I mean, a lot of people work. A lot of people out there aren't working right now. You know, it's you know, different situations playing into why they're not working, but a lot of people aren't working right now. So, if you know,
real quick, I wanted to protest, but I had said my 9 to 5 needs me.
So Quadpolo want everybody to know he got a job.
No, I'm just saying,
ladies.
No, I'm just
my nigga is essential. That's what he wants y'all to know.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm backing your theory up there. You know what I'm saying, that they. Now that they have time, you know what I'm saying, they could have did it, you know what I'm saying, they did. That's the reason why they did it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind going out there and protesting. Like, I see
Maybe
the reason behind it, but I understand that. I'm thinking, like, a lot of people, like, the protest, a lot of people wouldn't have been out there if they were still working.
I think that I agree with you to a certain extent, because I feel like also people, especially you can tell, are afraid of consequences, or they're not willing to put their livelihood on the line. So if someone already took their livelihood, then they don't have anything to lose. Yeah. So you have a whole bunch of people with nothing to lose, not necessarily, you know.
And now, if I'm out there with nothing to lose, and I'm holding a sign that say "No justice, no peace," then there's no way that this could be a peaceful protest. Because we don't have, if we don't have justice yet, we shouldn't be being peaceful yet.
Everybody's different, bro.
That ain't what
talking about. The whole world is participating.
No, that's what that sign means. Like, I'm talking about this particular sign. If you holding a sign that says "No justice, no peace," what should you be doing?
Ain't no should. You just holding a sign.
No, what is you should be rioting. There shouldn't be no peace. What you mean?
It's not what the sign means. The sign
saying, if there's no justice, there will be no peace.
That's not.
That's how I'm ready to cut up. If I'm gonna go all the way out there, like, the heat makes me angry.
There you go.
So if I'm gonna go out there and protest in the heat, I'm gonna be angry. Like, I'll probably spend like maybe 4 to 6 hours, you know, peaceful protesting. But when it start getting dark outside, I'm ready to cut up. That's just me. Cause I feel like if I'm out here, I'm gonna go all out. Especially, like, if you know, I don't know if you saw, but they dismissed like over 800 cases. I don't know if it was just 800, but that was the first number that I heard. That a lot of the people that was out there protesting, they dismissed their cases.
Yeah.
So, I mean, shout out to, you know, whoever made that call or whatever. Hopefully they run it again. I'd vote for them again. Just put that out there. Another thing too, like with all of everything, like I feel like this, like a lot of people focus on the bad of the coronavirus. I feel like it's exposing a lot of things that we just need to see. Like, we're seeing people that we never saw. We're like, I said one day all my neighbors was outside at the same time, and that ain't never happened. And even moving on to like people in business and the way they conduct themselves, like even our president, it's like we're going through a national pandemic. You've said it's a pandemic, and you mismanaged it. I don't think I've ever heard President Trump say Black Lives Matter. Why we can't get our president to say that? We need to start a petition. I feel like he probably gonna wait till right before the election and be like, "Hey y'all, Black Lives Matter." And then now everybody gonna run and vote. You don't think that's
support? No support.
He probably gonna try it. Now I'm not. Even if he said, I'm not gonna believe it coming from him like it's heartfelt. I feel like he gonna be saying it for votes. But I don't think they literally painted the words on the street outside in front of the White House, Black Lives Matter, in yellow letters.
Wow.
And the president still hasn't said it. Why hasn't he said it? That's the question we need to be asking ourselves, right? Lovey, do you know why the president ain't said Black Lives Matter?
I mean, he's not gonna say it because it's not. That's not.
It don't matter.
realistic. I'm saying even
it don't matter to him.
I'm saying no. Even if it did, even if he said it, his actions have to dictate it. He don't never have to say it if all he do is cut for the black community. Actions at this point speak louder than any words.
I think he gonna say it for the vote before the time comes.
I'm saying fuck what he say. What he gonna do? People are tired of words. I don't care about what he say anymore. He say anything.
I don't think he gonna do nothing. Like if I just sit back and look at our president now and what he has done and accomplished, what's his biggest accomplishment? Like that would affect me. I got $1,200 a couple weeks ago. I mean, I'm sure he's giving money to governors and mayors here and there so they can get certain things accomplished. But what has affected me directly outside of the stimulus bill?
I mean, of course, nothing's gonna affect you. He in the top. It's a whole. He in the top 10%.
So,
like that's not.
It's cool with him being in the top 10%, but it's. I feel like
decisions are not gonna be.
Even if he's up there, like, and he makes a decision, like for a governor or whatever, like it should have a ripple effects and at least affect the people around me or some of the people around me, affect affect the business I work for, affect something. I haven't seen.
It does affect the business you work for on the back end, as far as tax breaks. You know what I'm saying? How much money, they put into his campaign or don't put into his campaign.
They bet not.
Stuff that they want to put behind. Hey, it's happening.
That was his whole tactic.
Not my company.
Helping business.
Not yet.
Coke must be putting money behind them because they falling right now. For real. Like, we killing the game right now. And I ain't even just saying that to be saying it. Like, when I walk in stores, I feel like I'll be happy to go to work. I don't like going to work, but I'll be happy to go to work because it's like, yeah, I'm going to go win again today. And, for years, Coke has been like, hey, we got Coke, we got Sprite, we got this, we got that. Like, yeah, we're going to use Coke and Sprite for the mixes. I'm using Sprite right now. But I got Bang in my cup, too. So it's like, hey, y'all made 30 cents off the bottle. We made $1 off a can. So I feel like we still winning. Like, we still letting y'all eat. We ain't starving y'all. So it is what it is. Keeping it real with Rillos on Friday. Starting next week, really starting tomorrow, y'all gonna start seeing me at least promote the show like every day. Every day of the week. I'm gonna be promoting it every day of the week. I'll do like a countdown or whatever just to make sure people are still tuned in because I didn't realize it. I haven't been posting much on Facebook, but I have like a lot of fans, and I didn't realize like how many people like actually support me that that I didn't know supported me. Like I know I have the cousins, the close friends, people I went to school with, but there's a lot of people outside of that that's like, hey, what love you family, you can put your hand down. Like,
oh, I didn't know my hand was outside.
I've been to your house, I've been to your mom's house.
And yet I still can't get this nigga to post a fucking flyer.
I can call your mom and tell on you if I want to.
You hate man. Tell her how you gonna make these flyers and tell the people how you've been dogging them out.
No, I have not been dogging them out. I've been extremely busy. Like, I don't know, I ain't been that busy. Like,
nigga, you lying.
I just
be real with Rillos on the Rillos today.
Hey, let's be real then. It's my birthday weekend. I've been playing Clash of Clans. That shit is addictive.
I knew it.
Do not download Clash of Clans and do not search the clan Fam Family because I am the leader. Do not. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get back on it, y'all. Lovey been saying it for weeks, and I think the reason I ain't been doing it is because she been saying doing it. But I made a personal decision earlier today that I was gonna start and getting back on it because it's a lot of stuff that's about to pop off. I got a lot of like great ideas and
fall at the wayside.
A lot of my great ideas involve other people working and making money and generating income. And it's like, hey, even though I'm still good, like I'm straight. Other people can be being blessed by just me doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I need to get back to it. We'll be reaching out to a couple small businesses. If you do food and you're watching the live, just be on the lookout. We won't have the same food person. When we do come, we're gonna try to mix it up, unless there's somebody who can just kill different things. And then I'm gonna be getting more artists and comedians and stuff in here too. And so yeah, we finna turn up and have a good time. We're also, as we come to the end of this second segment and go to the third segment, we're gonna have a Freestyle Friday session. which happens to last 5 minutes before the show ends. So we have 2 minutes until the last 5 minutes. I'm gonna have Lovey go ahead and get ready and cue it up. The way this Freestyle Friday is gonna work is it won't be the whole 5 minutes, Lovey. I know you can only take so much. But I feel like it's important for me as a comedian to be sharp.
Yeah.
So I want, and probably a couple months ago, maybe a year ago, we did a freestyle session where somebody was just yelling out random words. So I want to kind of start incorporating that into what we do. And then a segment that I'm also adding is when I bring out comedians, I'm gonna try to bring out comedians where I actually know their jokes, or I would actually have them send me a joke in, and I would listen to it, as if they were perform, while they're on stage. It'll be like a video clip or something. And when they come in, I want to pick their brain and be like, hey, what was your thought process behind this joke right here? What were you thinking? Or what element were you in? Because a lot of people see comedians, hear comedians and be like, oh, they just making fun of me. But if you learn like what made that person think of that, it might not even be a joke about you. It might just be something small they noticed and they created a joke out of it. But a lot of people get offended by comedians. So I want to add a segment that, like a thought process type
where that
thing.
joke come from.
Yeah, or where that joke come from, basically. So, and I'll let comedians know ahead of time. I won't tell them specifically which one, but I'll tell them like, hey, when you're talking about that, we're going to kind of discuss this, whatever in the show.
I tell you one thing. Some crazy reason. My jokes always come out better when I'm on the toilet.
When you tell them to yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah, it might not be the toilet that's saving. It might just be you talking to you. You saving yourself right now.
I don't know why them creative juices just get the flowing around that time.
We actually had an artist that came up probably 6 to 8 months ago that said he writes when he's on the toilet. And he said he wrote the song he brought on the toilet, and it was some fire.
Yeah.
What was that guy's name? Like J-Boy or something?
So no boo-boo.
I don't know.
Love you remember. He was kind of young. I think he came here with like a vest or something.
Oh, I don't remember.
Like a bulletproof vest, but he wasn't getting shot
Young
at.
TMO? His name was Young TMO.
Extra PP.
It's true. Sadly, it's been several, so I can't even
So
think
the
of.
bulletproof vest?
Yeah, it's been
PPE?
several PPE bulletproof vest wearers, so it's hard for me to pin one down.
Shit, they got them on sale at Greenspoint. I think that's where they getting them from.
Oh,
Because I seen the same vest twice, but one of them had pulled like the Velcro straps off the front. So I was like, he must have saw somebody else with the straps on and said, I'm going to take my straps off. Kind of like Jordans, Air Forces back then.
only
If somebody went to our school and they had their Jordans, like they had red laces and they white Air Force, it's like, well, shit, I got to go get some blue laces. You just couldn't pull up with the same laces. I mean, you could, but, you wasn't being original.
okay.
We keeping originally real with Rillos. We're gonna take a. Do you got the song ready
I
now?
already got it ready. It's up.
Okay. So she got the music ready.
Okay, so how am I supposed to have them? So the people,
Can they hear the music? Oh, they can't hear the music.
yeah, they gonna be able to hear the music. Okay.
Am I gonna be like on beat while it's playing? Is it gonna be a delay to them?
No.
Oh, all right. I don't want to be sound like J Mac.
No.
Oh,
We won't have you sounding like that.
it's my birthday pre-week. My birthday is actually Monday. I really wanted to turn up today, which I am gonna turn up, but I wanted to I was gonna fill up the place and be like, hey, let's get like 10 or 15 people out. We can rock out. But I said I'll wait till next week. What we doing now, love? You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Before we get into the segment, Quad Polo, what's on your mind, man? You ain't said much.
But
Is it because I'm talking?
Yes.
Love, you say something so Quad Polo can talk.
Nigga, you been talking this whole show. It's your show. He trying to let you do you.
yeah, I know.
I appreciate that. What's
Three
on your
cups.
mind, Quad Polo been trying to come for like 3 or 4 weeks, and I think I counseled last week, and he was gonna pull up. The week before, he had like work issues or something going on with work that you had to do. So, and I think the week before that, you was like, hey, I got something I want to talk about. There's a lot of shit going on.
Oh, that was
And
around
we hadn't got your perspective of, because you're also an essential person. You still working. So, what's up, man?
Yeah, no, that was around when George Floyd had passed and everything, and what really burned my britches was the way that Lawman had his knee on his neck,
Okay.
and his hand on his hip. You know what I'm saying? That would really burn my bridges right there. You know what I'm saying? You don't put your fucking hand. Excuse me. You don't put your hands.
You don't have to be excused. We uncensored here.
Oh, okay. You don't put your fucking hands on your hip. You know what I'm saying?
And you ain't dipping.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You don't put your hands on your hip or in your pocket and, you know what I'm saying, leave your knee up and have your knee on somebody's neck. You know what I'm saying? That's just too cocky. You know what I'm saying? Too disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Now, if with all the madness I got towards him right now, if me and him would have got into it, yeah, I'd have whooped him down and everything, but I wouldn't have put my foot, my knee, you know what I'm saying, or continue to whoop him down once I already know I won. You know what I'm saying? So, therefore, yeah, he and that's the reason why the world is in the uproar, because they seen that arrogant bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Fucked up face he tried to have, but I can't really talk about it right now, you know what I'm saying, because I done prayed and wooside and everything, and all that madness is gone.
You get the breathing hard. We need to change the subject, man.
You sound like Tony Baker.
You getting riled up right now, man. The protest kind of dying down now. We don't need you out there leading the new pack. You look like you ready to rebel, man. I mean, and black men, we're all affected by this situation.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like, people think like, hey, I wasn't there. You know, I didn't see what happened. I didn't know the person. We're all affected because regardless of if you got good cops and you got bad cops, it is what it is.
True.
But being a black man in a situation like this happens puts all cops on alert now. Now, they like, hey, yeah, we're going to kind of be a little more lenient here and there, but they have to be more alert. They might let some stuff slide, but what if you moving too fast and they like, well, I can't let this slide. I have to react. Like, they have to react immediately because at this point, when stuff like this happen, I think they're more scared of us than we are of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones who struggle sleeping at night because they like, well, my neighbors know I'm a cop. I don't want them to, you know, come kick in my door, you know, while I'm sleeping, drag me out of the house, even though, like, this was one cop in this situation right here, but this affected all cops. This affected all black men. So I try not personally to be worried about, like, what a lawman gonna do to me, because I feel like I got enough people around me where if it pop off, my people gonna stand up for me.
Right.
Like, I feel like, hey, something pop off with Love and the Law, man, we gotta stand up for Love. Like, it's like, you got people around you gonna stand up for you and they gonna make sure your death ain't going in vain.
Right.
So,
yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like, hey, cops is on the edge. Try to do it. I ain't saying be perfect, but try to do as much right as possible.
Right. And
You know, try to stay out of trouble. If you gonna smoke your blunt at home. If you gonna drink and drive, pull up when you almost to the house. Don't like, if you got a corner store at the front of your neighborhood and you want to get your beer there and start drinking on the way to your house, yeah, I understand that. You probably won't have the buzz by the end, depending on what type of drink you are. But be smart about what you do. Don't just be out here wilding and putting yourself in situations that you know, I don't mind protesting or marching for you, but if the situation can be avoided, just avoid the situation. Life is too valuable. We all try to make it to heaven, thug paradise, or whatever. If y'all ain't trying to make it there, it's a hell. You know, y'all can go keep warm in. I don't know what people's goals are these days, but
and one quick key thing to let the people know. Like you say, avoid the trouble as much as you could.
Mm-hmm.
If you happen to be approached by them, you know what I'm saying. Let me let y'all know this. Defuse them, you know what I'm saying? You have the power to defuse them because they already coming at you in robot form. They've been trained to be defensive first, you know what I'm saying, and hold their ground in aggression. So therefore, you know what I'm saying, defuse them, turn them back into a human, you know what I'm saying? You could do that with a simple hello and good smile, you know what I'm saying?
We call that
being friendly.
No, I call that.
No. Cause
I call it shucking and jiving.
Oh no!
You shouldn't have to be friendly if you're not feeling friendly. You should be able to be a black man, like doing whatever the fuck you doing. A person should be able to be trained and be, you know what I mean? Just it goes deeper than what we just saying here. We don't have time to go into it, but I'm just saying, like, ain't no special way because you never know how that person is gonna respond, regardless if you smile and shucking and jiving or if you rude or a dickhead or you never know. It's not on
they
you.
already scared of us, so we can be, hey, how you doing? They gonna already be on the edge, like we faking us some shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's just they already have a natural conceived, thought process on how we are gonna react, even though we could just be good, naturally genuine people. Like, I try to walk, like, at this point, we gotta walk with like a happy-go-lucky ass, and so we look like, oh, he's not gonna rob anybody. Look at the way he's walking. We gotta walk. I be walking all goofy and shit at work. Shit, I'm out there in Kingwood. Them laws ain't fucking with me. But this gonna end our show. Make sure you don't go nowhere. Shout out to Quad Polo. He came through this week. We probably gonna be seeing more of him since
Yes.
they starting to lift bans. Stay out there. Be safe. If you have a mask, wear your mask. Please wear your mask. There's nothing wrong with being as safe as possible. The numbers in Texas are going up, and it's killing a lot of our people. So make sure you wear your mask, be safe, and make sure you're here next week and stay right now because Miss Cookie's gonna go in the nude. www. Love the number 2.